What's up, guys? We're gonna BroBeatzTV, and I'm gonna be showing you guys the perfect dark scale for trap beats. Now, why is this scale? I'm gonna show you the perfect scale. Well, this allows you to go super dark if you like really dark melodies or just beats, and it also allows you to go super melodic if you want to. So that's why I'm calling it the perfect scale. So what is this scale? This is the 𝗻𝗙𝗡 scale. This is a scale that's default in most DAWs, especially FL if you're using that. So I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch first, just to cover everybody. So if you're using any platform online, beat making, whatever, you can still use this. So two terms I'm going to show you. So whole step, half step. So whole step just means you skip one note in between. Half step is just no placement in between, right? It's just they're literally sitting right next to each other. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. How do we make this from scratch? I'm going to just start it off in the middle so it's easier to see. So you want to just place a note somewhere, and then you want a half step right here. Okay, and I know it can get a little complicated, so I'm gonna just use layman terms. I'm gonna say just skip a space, right? So basically what you want to do is skip 2 spaces, 1, 2, and then place 2 notes right next to each other once again. So now your scale should look something like this. Okay, right? And then the next one, you want to skip 1 space and then place 2 notes here, just like so. And then lastly, I'm gonna shrink it down. You want to skip 2 spaces once again and place, and that is your 𝗻𝗙𝗡 scale. Okay, and that is how you make it from scratch, right? And then you can check your work. FL has scales. If you right click here, they have scales you can use. They have stamps. All of you should know that by now, but if you go here and you go to other 𝗻𝗙𝗡, you should see that it matches the scale we have, so it works. Okay, so that is how you build the scale. This is literally one of the best scales you can use. We're gonna go ahead and make a beat with this. I'll grab in a scale so you know it's easier to see when we place the notes. And also, if you want to play it on your keyboard, you can go up here in FL Studio right here, okay, and then you can right click, and you can also change it to 𝗻𝗙𝗡. And then now you can't really see it, but I'll just your keyboard is mapped to it. All right, so let's go ahead and make a melody with this. Now we're gonna go ahead and make our melody. So we're gonna be using this sound from Omnisphere. It's been a while since I used this, so we're using the music 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 sound. This is all stock, I believe. Okay, so I'm just grabbing the scale. You can use scale highlighting, you can use the stamps, whatever you want to use. But I'm gonna be just going in here. So if you have MIDI scales V2, it's in abnormal scales, 𝗻𝗙𝗡, and then we could just go and see whatever, since we built the scale from there. Okay, and then I'll just name it just so you remember. Okay, boom. So let's go in here, and basically we're just going to start with a simple, very simple melody, because it's a new scale. Your ears have to adjust. You probably only use major and minor and harmonic minor, so you want to start real simple. So let's just do maybe some, and that could be perfectly fine, and maybe we can go 1 up. Okay, and then let's copy it over. I'm gonna make it a little bit larger so you can see the notes as we play it. And I believe these, I'm gonna pull the velocity down a little bit. Okay. All right, so now what do I recommend doing if you're new to this, or if you're like, man, I don't know what to do next? Now, specifically for using a different scale, stick with the melody. Don't worry about the bass line yet. Now, typically I would say do the opposite, but I think for this, I think you should start up top. So now what we could do is basically start pulling notes up here. So we could use some tricks. You could take some of these notes, you can pull a chord up like this, right? You could actually pull all these up like this. Okay, and then you can kind of use some of these notes. Or I did this wrong, actually. You want to basically skip a note. So to make a chord within these scales, you would just skip area of the note. Okay, just like that. So you're gonna do that with these notes. All right, and then you can kind of use some of these notes if you want to, but I'm just use these. So I'm gonna restart it, skip that, and then place it here. Boom, and then I don't know why it's not going up. We could use this to start. And that's just gonna give us something to work with. Boom, and then that's it. We just let them play, shrink it down a bit, Let's listen. Okay, so lastly, we need our bass line, obviously. Now, with a new scale, this could be a little difficult because sometimes the note will sound a little too, it'll have a little bit too much tension in it, which you usually don't want. You can go with your ear, or you can pull notes. So you can like pull this one down and try this note if you want to. Or you could do the trick where you basically make a chord backwards, like so. Right, and you can make a chord backwards this way. And you know, this, we're pretty much building it now. So I'm actually changing the colors just so it's easier for you to see what we're doing. Or it doesn't play, so never mind. All right. Right, and that is where you probably will be like, man, like that doesn't sound right, but you just gotta let your ears adjust to the new scale. And I'm gonna flip these real quick and see. Okay, I kind of like that. So I'm gonna just kind of put like an 808 pattern in here. And then let's actually make this a lot longer, okay? And this is gonna be the hardest part, so don't worry, even though we're not really doing too much. I'll copy this over. And we're gonna just stretch this out. Let's do something like this, and then we'll just do that same rhythm, but put this here. And then pull this here, and then I'll make it a little bit melodic. You still wanna make these beats your own and put your own style to it. I like melodic stuff, so I'm gonna take this, and then we're gonna make a chord backwards, like so. And then we're just gonna copy this bass line, pull it over, and then you could like just pull this down, just for variation, right? So let's play it. Is this playing? It's just too low. Okay, so I think that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and move on to our other sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in our second sound, counter melody, whatever you wanna, whatever terms you wanna use. So we took a long time with that. I wanted to go slow because when using different scale, I want everybody to be, you know, to be able to follow along. So next sound we have is this woody pseudo flute. Okay, so this is a pseudo flute. Okay, that's what it sounds like, and pretty much I just turned on the solo. Okay, here it is in the little browser. So we're just gonna, same thing, just kind of mess around, and with this you can kind of have more fun with it because we already kind of got our blueprint down. So I'm gonna just start on the root, and usually I like to start halfway through the first bar for the counters or like the accents or whatever. Maybe we could play around with this G sharp. Let's offset it. Okay, so I want to use a note in here. I'm gonna just like try one of these notes. Okay, I like that. Now, again, go with your ear. Although this is not within the scale, like I said, I like more melodic stuff, so I'm gonna choose this note even though it's outside the scale. Right now, you don't want to hurt yourself by going, oh man, I have to go within the scale every single time, right? If this sounds good, use it. It's that simple, okay? So I'm just gonna use that note because it just sounds better to me, right? And that kind of changes the scale overall, but it doesn't really matter. And we can actually copy this. Maybe like let's do something like this, and I'm gonna just pull this up. Okay, boom, there we go. Once again, all right, there we go. And then I think we could just literally copy this. Let's see. then we can just kind of build into this. Zoom in right there a little bit. And I'm gonna just return back to that C because it's safe and it's just easy to do. And then we can return back to this note. And I'm gonna take this out, make this a little bit longer. And then maybe we can, and this is just variation, right? You don't need to do what I'm doing. You could literally just be lazy and copy, but I'm gonna try this and see. I kind of want, I don't want this to be so. Okay, I like that. I think that's perfect. So we'll stop it there. Now we'll just layer. So we'll do that in its own parts. Let's go ahead and do that. Now we're just gonna go ahead and layer. So this is real simple, right? We could just go ahead and copy these, and I'm gonna copy this to this one. So this is the other sound I picked here. We just layer it, and then I'll layer this to this one. Right. Okay, just kind of like a backing flute. I'm gonna actually flip these so it's a little bit more consistent. So yeah, this is what it will sound like layered. A very simple, like, experimental melody, and of course we'll add effects and stuff afterward, but I want to finish out the beat, so let's go ahead and add our 808 and kick. Now we're going to go ahead and start our 808. So there's plenty of ways you can do this. Obviously you can just copy this and use this, but I can already tell this is going to give us a lot of tension. And remember, my melody is a little bit more melodic, so it may not be the perfect for what I want, because remember we went outside the scale a little bit. Right, that sounds perfectly fine. But if you do want something more melodic, you can change it. So you could use some of the other notes. I don't know, you could make a chord upward, make a chord downward, and you can use some of these notes. So obviously C we would start on, boom, and then you can kind of mess around with that, right? That's just a way to get there. You don't have to do that. Obviously you can just click the note in and see if it sounds good, right? But I'm just giving you some little tricks, right, if you don't know them. I'm gonna zoom in here. Actually, maybe if we add a slide, it'll sound a lot better. Let me see. Okay, I think that's cool. So now we can just copy this over and put it on the F. And let's see. I'm gonna pull this down. All right, so I think that's good. Let's move this over, and I'm just gonna add some variation, and I did this wrong. Let's pull that back, and we're just gonna do something like this. Boom, and then I'm gonna just pull them down just so we have variation. I kind of want to make a simpler version, but let's just listen. I'll put the metronome on. Okay, I like it. Now of course we need to add our kick, but I think we clone this, copy it, and I'm gonna make a simpler version. So I think we can probably, let's do something like this. I just want to oversimplify this a bit, because I think we should have a like super simple version as well. It shouldn't all just be all this. We can keep this over here. Just take out all these like. All right, let's listen to this one. And then of course I'm pull that velocity up as well. Make sure this one is pulled up just so it hits a lot harder. We could turn it down. Okay, and then I'll just make the kick off of this one since it's simpler. Okay, and then I'm gonna Control A, Alt K. Okay, and then what I like to do personally is Shift D and double them. And then I'll probably add some in. Let's offset that one. Okay, I think that's fine for our low end. So lastly, we'll add our drums and then we'll add our effects on top to make everything sound a lot better. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and slap in some drums. And by the way, if there's any sounds or anything that I'm using, all will be linked in the description or comment section down below. Because I am using a mix of drums. I'm using some from the 𝗗𝗘𝗘𝗘𝗘 and the 𝗦𝗧𝗧𝗏. So yeah, if you just want to copy any of those sounds, you can. So let's add in a rim. Now I'm gonna just do this bare bones so the melody doesn't get annoying, because it's kind of annoying to me. And we don't got to worry about the 808 because it's just like the same exact pattern. So as long as this sounds good, bare bones will be fine. I'm gonna pull this up a bit. And then I'm gonna bar this up so it repeats over and over. And let's pull that down a bit just so it's subtle. I'm gonna put this on 64 so that it repeats in a loop, perfect loop. And then we could just bar these and it should loop perfectly. And something didn't loop. I don't know what. Well, no, that was just this. All right, so I think that's good for our drums. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. I'll just play this. Let's do. Okay, so I think that sounds pretty good. What we're gonna do is add some effects to kind of just trim some of the fat off and just make it sound a lot better. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go over some of the effects that I went ahead and added here. So I didn't do too much. I just added some like quick little presets to change some of the sounds. So the first one I did was the counters here. So all I did was just add this little like gate preset here. So as you can see here, I did boost the frequency, but I did this afterwards. So in this portal bank here, so this is in Mako, I use police siren. So this is what it sounds like on. Let me turn it on. So this is what it sounds like on. Right, and I just like that effect, so I added that. And then of course, after I added the effect, I just kind of moved this around just to kind of boost it a little bit in the mix. And I'll just pull that back down. And then yeah, I just put everything into a bus. So hold control, highlight everything. You can right click on an empty bus, track routing, route selected track only, and then all of your melodies will be linked into a bus. And then on top of that, I just added a thermal And then I use this bank usually to add character and stuff to some of the sounds. So this will give it that like lo-fi effect, and I just kind of like the way this sounded. So this master dust presets. Again, any sounds I'm using, any presets, I'll link if you want to check them out. But I'll play it off. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it sounds fine the way it is right now, but you know, turn it on. Okay, pretty interesting. And then of course we just take out some of that bass, and that's just pretty much what I have there. Okay, so nothing else for the drums, and I'll be honest, I probably should have mixed the drums, but I really don't even care that much, so I'm just not going to do it. So for the master, now I will warn you, if you don't have like a proper interface, this probably will sound crazy, but I think it should be fine. Okay, so what we have is this monster subtle preset, and this is, where is it? Right here. I don't know, I think this is custom, I'm not really sure, but this is what it looks like. Pretty much all I did was just boost a little bit of those lows and the highs to make it a little bit more crispy. So this is 1.6 for the highs, and on the low right here, this is a 2.5. So that's pretty much all I did there. Okay, and then the soft clipper, and this soft clipper is at about 12. You'll probably knock it down to exact -12. And then on top, this was just something I was experimenting with, so I used this little preset, master fat and skinny. So this kind of just fattens up like the low end. So yeah, that's just pretty much what it does. I'm not going into detail, but yeah, and I'll play it, well, we can just play it without, and then with. Now you can see it's peaking a lot, but for me, it sounds perfectly fine. So I'll turn this off for the people that, I don't know, maybe using a certain interface. But you can see it lost a little bit of that clarity. So you would need to go in and probably clean that up, but I'm gonna just add my preset. So I'll just play both the 808 patterns, and then we can go ahead and end. So I'll play this one first. All right, and that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.